Let's talk auto remarketing. According to the NAAA, the auto remarketing overview process includes OEMs, dealers, franchise and independent, lenders, rental car companies, fleet lease companies, buy here, pay here, repo, salvage yards, rebuilders, and parts. So what's it take to become an auto remarketing expert? Recon, pricing, remarketing, sales, reports, financing, customer service, training, technology, and of course, relationships. Are you the next rising star in remarketing? Do I ask too many questions? Probably, but I ask the questions that will help you grow your business and make better and faster decisions that will lead to your success. So here's another ATI live show on YouTube and LinkedIn that just isn't like the other stuff. What's an auto remarketing expert? Please stick around and join the live chat. We'll be right back. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business Tuesday Nights Live, where everyone learns more about the automotive industry. If this is your first time here, please do feel welcome. We've got another great show lined up for you. I want you to feel welcome. We got a great show tonight. I've got the news up here. VTA to liquidate old fleet vehicles. TikToker has tips to avoid at the dealership. February inventory and affordability. We'll get through the news quickly because we got Jamye Carpenter. She's a remarketing expert with us, and we're going to bring in the Rising Stars in Remarketing panel with Stephanie, Penny, Dave, and Ryan. So let's get to it. This is show 334 in a row on a Tuesday night. I'm moving quickly, but I'm trying to keep everything in line. Rising Stars in Remarketing. So what is this show? So we're going to do a panel next month, in about a month, at Car Conference, about 5 weeks from now. And I want to tell you who I've got on the panel, and you're going to meet the panel, and we're kind of going to do a live run-through right here on ATI. Jamye Carpenter, she's the owner of JRC Innovative Solutions. She's a remarketing expert. She's my co-host on this journey as we talk about the journeys of our participants. This is Stephanie Compton, VP of Asset Remarketing at Exeter Finance. This is Penny Wana. She's the president of Auction Academy. We've got Dave Blake, executive director at IAG, and Ryan Clark, president at ServNet Auction Groups. And these are our rising stars in remarketing and the legends of their journeys. And you could be the next rising star in remarketing. So please do join us. If you can't make it to CAR, I implore you, check it out. Go to carconference.com. carconference.com. Use code ATI24. Save $100 on registration. We'd love to see you there. There really is a lot happening at Car Conference. It's all about remarketing. Know your ecosystem, know all of the parts and how they integrate and work together. Let's do some news here. Let's try this. All right, here we go. Thank you so much on YouTube and LinkedIn. Now, I normally don't do news like this, but I saw this like everywhere for a day. Arizona man just released from prison steals a truck hauling corvettes. So 10 brand new Chevy C8 Corvettes worth about $1.25 million. I know it's hard to read there. But yeah, that's a lot. So he just needed a ride home from prison. And I guess he was talking to the driver, made the driver feel comfortable, and then grabbed him and threw him from the cab. I don't get it. I don't know why. Seems like there's other ways to get home. And then there's already 3 videos about it on YouTube, which to me is like half the news. So don't go too big or you won't get home. All right. VTA prepares abandoned fleet for auction to recover taxpayer dollars after an NBC Bay Area investigation. This is pretty fascinating. Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority started to take first steps to properly retire 95 paratransit cars and vans after a news report where the investigation revealed that they left the vehicles to depreciate for at least 4 years. Wow. Can you imagine? Right? Anybody know a remarketing expert? Okay. Yeah. In February, the agency started moving some cars to prepare for auction. The auction will be in April. Dozens of the deserted vehicles paid for by tax dollars been sitting in 2 lots since 2020. And, I'm assuming, given COVID, maybe could have sold those. Plus, catalytic converter thieves targeted some of the vehicles and costing taxpayers at least $10,000 more in security enhancements as well, and declined an interview. So, and there's a YouTube video of that, which, by the way, I read the article, I watched the YouTube video, prefer the YouTube video. Winner, YouTube. Still got the info. Now, here's an article about a TikToker named P-Money21. Usually means the car has an issue. Experts warn to stay away from cars at the dealership that have this tag. Okay, I'm interested. If you want to save some money on buying a new car by heading over to an auction, there's a dealership tag you probably want to stay away from. Could leave you with hefty repair bills and a financial albatross. According to auto TikToker P-Money21, who uploaded a viral clip from the interior of a BMW, he was at an auction. Cars having ignition issues. The problem doesn't seem to be the car's engine, transmission, fuel line, or anything under the hood. Instead, it appears to be... let's see here. By the way, you just got my attention. Yeah, we're going? We're okay? All right, we're good. All right. Just want to make sure the audio's okay. All right, cool. And it appears to be an electronic issue preventing the whip from recognizing its key fob. Now, this is an image of the tag in question. So the question is the tag an issue or is it not an issue? So there were many comments, which I think is also part of the news story, I guess. If you see a car at auction with this key tag, stay away, particularly 925. It reads, the key tag right here means it was in service. And then users replied, let's see, every BMW has a service issue. It's not necessarily a death sentence. One person wrote LMAO. That's not always the case. You get those usually after a service. And P-Money replied, from my experience, they usually have some sort of problem. So again, when it comes to, so here we are. We're creating social media news live from news articles, reporting on social media and news. And I guess, once you get the news, check with somebody else to make sure that made sense. Maybe the live chat. Check with the live chat to make sure that made sense. That makes sense. Thus the live chat. Problem solved. Here we go. Wholesale used vehicle prices frozen in January. Average wholesale used vehicle values throughout January were identical to December after a year of volatility. According to Cox Automotive, average used vehicle prices at auction were identical in January to the last 4 weeks of 2023. And that's different. Wholesale used vehicle prices normally see a marginal drop in cost in the first month of the year as wholesale demand weakens after the holiday season. Pre-owned inventories were tightly constrained under the pressures of heavy pandemic-era demand, as everybody knows. And then boots on the ground. I like to see what people are saying and commenting and sharing. Driver's Seat Auto Sales says there were a lot of no sales at the auction. Let's just say I can see a ton of old auction stickers underneath current ones indicating it's been run the prior weeks. So that's notable. Also sensitive to auction fees, right? People are sensitive to auction fees, lest we never forget. And everybody wants to know what Car Dealership Guy has to say. The mega decline of vehicle affordability. Let's try to do a quick rundown. Average new car goes out for $49K. Used models $26. That's an increase of 31% on new, 40% on used. About 70% of consumers who finance a new car in Q2 are paying north of $1,000 a month. Ouch. Negative equity is rising. We knew there'd be a dip, which meant there'd be a rise. Okay, that was good, Jay. So what's behind the sudden disappearance of anything resembling a good deal? Low inventory, number one. And again, boots on the ground. I've got transporters saying, yeah, yards either have no inventory or inventory that is on hold for months for unknown reasons. It's getting worse. I'd have work for a week, then 2, and then 3, and then of nothing. So, yeah, loads available, simply just don't pay enough. That's the boots on the ground. Rising cost of insurance. Auto insurance premiums jumped 20% annually in December. Man. And then the lack of used car options. Prepare for a very competitive used car market over the next several years. We know vehicle acquisition is the name of the game. Patrick James of Cox Automotive, he was on my show 2 weeks ago talking about CPO cars and the high demand there to keep clients happy. So just remember, you can leverage ATI. I don't ship cars. I move information. I'm ATI Auto Business, and I want to help you leverage your business and share the information. Let's do this. Grab your ELD punch real quick, and right after this, we're going to bring in Jamye Carpenter, and then she's going to help me talk more about what's happening with rising stars and remarketing. So stick around. We'll be right back after this.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verifications of loads where nobody ever answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021, or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the U.S. So you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our Price Watch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
Don't lose any more sleep worrying about missing leads. Get Transport Auto Quoter to quote the right price the first time, every time. Run your business with TAQ. Visit transportautoquoter.com. Links are in the live chat. Okay, here we go. Let's just jump right in. We have Jamye Carpenter, owner, JRC Innovative Solutions. Jamye, can you see me and hear me okay?
I can see, I can hear all the things.
I can see you, I can hear you, all the things. Okay, here's how I always like to start. Please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hello, everyone. It's so great being here. The last time I was here, I was with AutoCheck. And so, well, no, I guess the last time I was with UVI. So we'll go with the AutoCheck first. So I had an amazing and long career with AutoCheck, Red Mountain Technologies, the majority of my career. And I helped build and create the vehicle history product that most of the remarketing industry uses today. We did sell that product to Experian Automotive, and I was able to stay on board and provide our data and different products to our wholesale auto auctions, our salvage auctions, public auctions, everything auction, and then insurance as well. And so with that, I was blessed of over 20 years in the industry where I got to meet lots of amazing people. And I have loved every bit of that career. But last year, I was provided with an opportunity to go work with UVI, and I took that opportunity to help them kind of make entrance into the wholesale market as well. And in December, they decided that the wholesale industry wasn't really where they wanted to have their focus, so they kind of shifted that to have a larger focus on dealers and body shops. So that kind of left me to say, what's next? And I started getting phone calls. I didn't really tell a lot of people because I was just trying to figure out what was next. And they were like, oh my gosh, you're available. I wish I had known. I would love for you to come join the team. And so I said, well, do I really want to go work for just one of these amazing people when I could have an opportunity to work with as many as I want? And so that's how I created JRC Innovative Solutions. And I'm actually with Pre-Owned Auto Logistics right now. I'm in their office. I'm visiting with them this week. They were my first client. And so it's been awesome. It's been a fun ride. I think, Jay, you kind of coined me as a super connector, and a lot of people in the industry.
You are.
A lot of people in the industry, we have leveraged our relationships for different things, whether that's being on the ATI live show or, different partnerships that have happened over the years. So I continue to do that, love people, love what I do, love this industry. And here I am getting to help you with an amazing panel of rising stars.
I so appreciate that help. Shout out Pre-Owned Auto Logistics. And I liked the timeline that you shared. You have done a lot. You know a lot of people. And in fact, so what I'm going to do, I think here's a way, because I said, this is a live rehearsal for our car conference panel discussion. I mean, we don't really, this isn't all timed out how we're going to do this. So what I tried to do was foresee how this might play. I started the show at 7:00, brought you in right after 7:10, and I thought 7:20 will bring in the panel. So I think we're going to hit that mark. That's really the way it works.
So far,
in show
so good.
business is you try to hit your marks. So that's what we're going to do. And then we'll say hello. We'll get some. So the thing is, at car conference, people will know. That's the one difference. At car conference, people will know each other a lot more. But since this is ATI, and I'm really trying to create a look at what is auto remarketing, right? But also by, I think, telling the stories. And that's really, you helped that come to light. What are the stories of the folks that got where they are? And, and Dave said, well, maybe we're more like, what did he say, flickering stars? But you can't be, to be where you are, you had to be a rising star at one point. So the star is still rising as far as I'm concerned, right? Right.
If you think about it, Dave jokes about flickering, but he is still rising, right? He just got the executive director position of IAG. So yes, a lot of us have continued our journey, and we've been in this industry for years and years, but we do continue to grow, right? Here I am, just launched my own business. You've got Stephanie, Remarketer of the Year. Ryan, he's just jumped in and been named president of ServNet. And then Penny is the ultimate star. So, I think if you look at the folks that we've chosen to join us on this panel, yes, we flicker at times, but we're still rising.
Excellent points. And what I also want to say before everybody comes in is that, and I've said this in our prep meeting, is that I'm still getting to know everyone. And I feel like for as much content as I've tried to put out and as much as I've tried to learn, if I'm still learning, that means there are folks just learning who some of these folks are, why they do what they do, what it is that they do. We talk a lot about transportation and logistics, and those are the roots of ATI. And many carriers, when they get to the auction lot, I think they don't really know all what is happening. And it's not just the auction, it's in the remarketing process, which we're also going to talk about tonight. So without further ado, let's do this. We're going to do a quick word from our sponsors. And right after this, we're going to bring in the Rising Stars and Remarketing panel. Stick around because we'll be right back. Thank you.
AuctionVCommerce is the universal support solution to help brick-and-mortar auctions respond to the needs of digital buyers and sellers with greater efficiency, accountability, and more access. AuctionVCommerce is a bridge between the dealers of the past and the auction of the future.
Yeah, so let's be honest with it. Everybody, as an operator, like myself, we're always looking to save expense, okay? And so if I can get a product that is just as efficient as another product and yet save a ton of money, that's what I'm going to do. And so I think the value proposition that Dealerslink offers is unmatched, right? For what we spend on Dealerslink, for what we get from Dealerslink, full spectrum, the marketplace's support, the OEM data, the Fastbook tool, the mobile applications that you have, the value proposition is huge. And I definitely would recommend, I have recommended, we are continuing to install it into our stores as we speak.
Request a live demo at dealerslink.com now.
Manage your inventory operations all in one place with smarter wholesale, cutting-edge recon, market-driven strategies, and automated advertising. Visit dealerslink.com. Links are in the live chat. All right, here we go. Let's just jump right in. Please do help me wish a very warm welcome to the Rising Stars and Remarketing panel. Penny, Ryan, Dave, Stephanie, can you see me and hear me okay?
Sure can, yep.
Okay, right. Who goes first? What do we do? Here's what I'll do. Let me just jump in with our slide deck. So here we go. Let's put it on the right screen. In creating a slide deck for the Rising Stars and Remarketing panel, I got a little creative over time and thought, I took Jamie's words and the legends of their journeys, the Rising Stars and Remarketing. Now, do you mind being called Rising Stars and Remarketing? Is that okay?
I defer to Penny.
I like it, but like we all have said, we definitely have some careers under our belts. And like Jamie pointed out, we're continuing to rise and do new things and move around. So it's great not to be confused with next generation.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of certainly in the last couple of years, and so risen into some key leadership positions.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Awesome.
All right. We never arrive, do we?
What's that?
Say we never arrive, do we?
Right? It's never full. It's not over till it's over. Right? In fact, it's nice to be called a rising star rather than a flickering star. Dave. Okay. All right. So, let me bring up this slide deck and we'll keep going here. So what we did is we started with some introductions. I'm Jay, founder of ATI Auto Business. We have Jamie, president, JRC Innovative Solutions. She said her life cycle and journey so far. So for the ATI audience, what is auto remarketing? Remarketing typically refers to the process of selling or reselling used vehicles. By the way, we asked ChatGPT, why not? Auto remarketing involves various activities aimed at maximizing the value of used vehicles, including refurbishing, reconditioning, and marketing these vehicles to potential buyers. Penny Wana, president, Auction Academy. We put some information on the slides together, but we wanted to jump right in. This is an interesting slide. Who wants to take it away? What are we looking at here?
I think any of us could. Go ahead, Dave.
I think we're looking at just really how the auctions are just this kind of conduit to so many different areas of the remarketing industry, right? And it's like, I mean, I don't know about all of you, but before I had even found out what an auto auction was, I didn't really know it existed. in that community. It's like it's the secret world, the secret sauce of a very important piece of a vehicle's life cycle. And I think a lot of vehicles make it to auction in their lifetime, if not a half a dozen or more times. So it's a conduit of relationship and transfer of ownership, critical piece of the life cycle of an automobile.
Speaking of the number of vehicles, I know that a couple of years ago, the statistics could have changed just with the number, with low inventory and people holding onto their vehicles longer. But there was a statistic that said, 40% of the vehicles on the road are used cars, and 50% of those have gone through an auction. That's a lot of vehicles. So, conduit, I think, is a great word. I know Jay asked me earlier, how do you define this overview process? And at first I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure how I would, but yeah, I think it's a process where every aspect of the business touches the vehicle as it gets ready for sale, right? And you can see that on that chart, how it all connects.
I'd love to hear from everybody individually. Who else wants to talk about this process? I mean, this process, is this your world?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you had, like, similar to what Dave was saying, if you're not in the industry, you kind of don't know the industry even exists. And but then you get into it and you realize that this is a multi-billion-dollar industry that affects, a huge key parts of the economy. Automotive, financial, it's a huge cog in in like our industrial economy, and it just kind of flies under the radar. But it is crucial to the functioning of the whole car market.
Yeah, and I think to Ryan's point, every one of us, even though all of us have a different perspective or have a different role within the auto remarketing space, it takes all of us for that whole cycle to come through, right? So if you're someone that either owns or runs an auction, you need those vehicles. So whether it's a dealer or whether it's someone like myself from, a financial institution or rental companies, fleet companies, someone needs an outlet to sell or buy, a vehicle. And so, the fascinating part is, the auction is kind of the core, and then you have all of these spokes that come around, and every single one of us come from or touch, one of those spokes, but still all come together with the thing in the middle.
And I'll add to that, what I see on this page is training opportunities, certifications, networking. From my point of view and where I come into this whole process is trying to make sure that I know every single person in this area that can lead a conversation and a training for those up and coming and those actual next generation or current generation leaders. And if I don't know the person directly, I need to know somebody and ask them who the right person is to get in front of a group.
That's why, Penny, we've got you as the next slide. I hope I'm right about this. Let me share the screen. Okay, so because that education, which is why we're here. Stephanie got up there. We're doing the introductions. The road to becoming a star. Okay, I'll reorder that. Jay, reorder. But I want to talk, Penny, I want to talk about education, because that's where it starts, right? How does one wrap their arms around all this? And how do you teach that?
You ask your students to commit to 2 years because you just can't get it done in an hour. So all of our students for Auction Academy, we're a continuing career training program for the auto auction and remarketing professional. You either have to be a current leader or on a leadership path. And we ask them to commit 2 years of their career to us. We travel around the country. We have 8 in-person sessions. And in between that, we do 9 virtual classrooms. And so we really do try to take every angle, every aspect, every viewpoint of the industry and get the best of the industry in front of these students that have committed their time. That is what our program is all about, almost under the same thought process of an independent auto auction, family working for family, servicing other family businesses. Auction Academy is, our faculty is the industry. Our industry are the ones training up and coming industry leaders with all kinds of expertise that they're bringing to the forefront. I have faculty and or industry people that are coming in and training what they have created for themselves over a 5, 10, 15, 20-year career, and have become an expert in their field, their industry, their subject matter. Over that time, the wins, the losses, whatever, they come in and they present to a group of up and coming leaders for 30, 45 minutes or an hour. They just give all that valuable information away for free. But that's our industry. Everybody loves everybody. It's a people, family, friendly, focused industry, which is one of the things, back to what everybody else was saying. I had no idea what this industry was until I fell right smack into the middle of it. And now I just can't see myself doing anything else. And so what I pride myself in with this training program, the platform that I was honored to be part of, is giving back to these people, watching these up and coming, these next generation or current generation leaders grow their careers. It's fascinating. Back to you.
And you fell into this, right?
I fell right smack into it.
Tell us about that, because I know, see, Jay got the slides out of order, and the first slide was for you to tell us, about your journey and how you got here, which is, then we were going to talk about education, but we can do it either way. I love the education piece, but we do want to hear your journey and how this, you fell right into this.
Well, I'm actually going to celebrate 20 years in this industry come June this year. You would not even believe it. But I work for my sister and my brother-in-law. They started a consulting firm, TPC Management Company, and they were starting to grow, and they reached out to me and my husband. So I not only work with my sister, I work with my husband, which is fantastic. It's a family business. And our goal under the TPC hat is to work for other family businesses, independent auctions. And so they asked Giles and myself, my husband Giles and myself, to come and join them as they grew. And we said, sure. We were looking for a life change. We were in St. Paul, Minnesota. We moved down south to Franklin, Tennessee, just outside Nashville. And at first I started behind the scenes, admin assistant, office manager, event coordinator, just started to work my way up, became part of the Auction Academy. Pierre and Pauline are co-founders of Auction Academy, and that started 13 years ago. I've always been part of Auction Academy from behind the scenes. And then about 7 years ago, they promoted me to president. And so they gave me an opportunity and a platform, and I absolutely just ran with it. So they definitely seen that I had passion in this area and I was really good at what I was doing. And they kind of gave me the keys to the car and they said, drive. I haven't looked back.
And it's been an amazing journey. I've loved watching your journey, and everything that you've accomplished and how you support everyone in our industry. Going back to you having industry experts come in, and that's a gift for us when we get to come in and talk to the Auction Academy and spend that time with those that are going to be the next generation, right? So otherwise, we might not get that one-on-one experience, but you give us that platform too. So I found that I'm learning just as much from being part of the Auction Academy family on the other side. So yes, you've done an amazing job.
Well, thank you for that. That's great to hear. Kind of gives you a second wind and kind of encourages you to keep on going, And just super quick, not to talk too much about it, but I also, within our class groups, we definitely try to give them that experience, introduction, exposure to the industry, the entire industry. But we also tell them and make sure that they understand all of your speakers and presenters and faculty come from the industry. So now it's their turn. When they near graduation, it's their turn. Now you give back to the industry, volunteer your time, your expertise to the committees, all of the associations that are out there, can mentor someone. So we definitely do preach that as well. And I practice what I preach. I definitely want to volunteer my time with NAAA, IARA, IAG, anyone and everybody that I can give back because you all are giving to us in our program. I try to put in the work. I try to talk the talk, walk the walk, all of that.
I'm going to jump back in because I tell you, that's the thing, is that Penny, I feel like we could spend the whole show together talking about your journey, your network, the education, the training. It's pretty amazing. So gosh, let's do this. Jamie, I threw the slides away. Where would we go next? We had Penny up first, talk about education and journey. I think we had Stephanie set next. Stephanie, you want to jump in with, by the way, 2023 National Remarketing Executive of the Year, right? That's awesome. So tell us a little bit more about your journey and where you are now.
Yeah, sure. So I started back in 1997, dating myself here, but I actually worked for a subprime auto finance company, and really, unlike, I'm sure, Ryan and Dave will tell their stories, but unlike a lot of others, very similar to Penny, I wasn't in the auto industry. I didn't grow up in the used car world or auto auctions. I started as a file clerk. A friend of mine worked at a subprime auto finance company. They, needed somebody. I needed a job and, started there. And then I had an individual that's actually still in the industry today, reach out to me that also worked for that same auto finance company and, said, hey, I've got an opening in dealer services. Would you like to, to come over? So worked a little while as a, dealer services rep. And, as our dealer sales managers were in the field signing up, dealers to, do business with us, I was, inputting the information in systems and things like that. Did that for probably a year or two. And in about 99, got a phone call from somebody, within auto remarketing within the same company and just said, hey, we have an opening. Would you like to come over to auto remarketing? And my first question is, what in the world is auto remarketing? I had no idea. I knew, the front end side of it. And I've been doing that ever since. That particular company, again, I'm going to date myself here, but that particular company shut down originations. And I knew that, okay, if they're not originating, we're not going to be doing some things, on the back end. So I actually found an ad in the paper and applied for a job within the ADESA umbrella. Worked for Par North America for about 10 years, and then moved over to Santander, and then now with Exeter Finance. So I think just the various roles, just very ambitious, trying to get myself to that, next level. I think that the thing that's helped me is, when I look at my entire career, 2/3 of that, I've actually been on the vendor side versus being on the customer side. So I think that's helped me be a better customer. Just, knowing, and everyone on this panel can tell you, you have 200 customers that want things done 150 different ways, trying to remember that, knowing that a lot of times as customers, we don't always call and say thank you. We're calling to complain about things that are, that you've done wrong. So I think, that has really helped me to be to where I am today and being, the customer that I am and my team, in that, I have a little more empathy just because I've been on that other side and look at things, I think, from a different, end of the telescope, and have just really pushed myself and even anybody that's worked within my team to build those relationships and do what we need to do to get to that, next level. But that's kind of high level of, where I started and where I am today.
Here, Jay.
Thank you. Muted, Jay.
I did all that muted?
Yeah.
Here we go. ATI, Auto Business, take 2. So what I was saying was, Joe Miller wrote an article where he was talking about, you saw this in Vehicle Remarketing, where he was talking about what people say and what they hear and the miscommunications therein. And what you said about being on the vendor side versus the customer side, I can imagine maybe that's part of the richness of your experience in your dealings, I'm supposing. And I also want to ask you, since you're here now, what's it like to be awarded the 2023 National Remarketer of the Year Award? What is that like?
Oh, I tell you, it's not something that, that I expected. To be, completely honest, I'm very grateful and appreciative of it. But I think the thing for me is, really just knowing that you've had some form of an impact on, your peers, whether it's auctions, whether it's other, remarketers, and that they felt worthy enough to give you that award. To me, that really heartfelt. That's the reward of being recognized, is knowing that you made some type of an impact on somebody that they felt like you were important enough to be recognized for it. And I think that's what I've taken away from it, and that's the best part of it for me, is just knowing that that it didn't go unnoticed, but just knowing that I had some type of an impact on others within the industry.
It's amazing, really it is. Thank you for sharing that. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to Dave, Executive Director of IAG. Dave, you and I don't know each other personally very well, so I'm getting to know you through this process. Please, will you tell us a little bit more about what you do, your role, and your journey?
Absolutely. As I'm sitting here listening to everybody, it's so fortunate to have been surrounded by great people. And I think that's, for me, just kind of where this all started. I currently I just started back in October as the executive director of the Independent Auction Group. If we look at the auction industry, there used to be, kind of three legs to it, but that's kind of changed a little bit, going through a time of transition. And the reference to three of those legs, which now it's three, for a while it was two, was kind of like called the chains, right? Like the chain auctions. And then the independents were everybody else, right? Independently operated, independently owned, family businesses, not necessarily a single rooftop, but I guess less of a corporate feel, organized type of company, right? Generationally turns over. Independents are just from a character standpoint and a characteristic standpoint, just a tremendous amount of tenacity and passion, and build relationships and just kind of get in there and get it done. And to me, it's the heartbeat of a lot of what we experience, and what that slide is what the independents bring to the auction industry. For me, I was introduced to it. It was funny, Stephanie, you're talking about an ad in the newspaper. I saw an ad in the newspaper. I didn't realize that. It was the last time. I was 21 years old. So what's that? Over 30 years ago? Yeah, over 30 years ago. And last time I answered an ad in the paper. And at the time, I was a 21-year-old kid, and I was working several different jobs. I was a maintenance guy at a department store, like a high-end like Marshall's kind of brand store, right? We sell this stuff, sells at discount. And I was landscape, and I was doing a bunch of different things to make a paycheck. And I saw this ad in the paper for an auto auction. They were looking for a janitor, and the pay at the time was $1 or $2 more an hour. It was, I don't know, $6.75 or $7 an hour or so. And it was time to get a little bit serious in life. And I went down there, and it was for an auto auction. They hadn't opened yet, and that was in 1994. And I was the second employee. There was one other employee that didn't last very long, so I usually say the second employee, but on paper it was the third. And I started before the auction actually was even operating. It started operations 2 or 3 months later on, but everything was new. And fortunately for me, even back in school, I've kind of been a person that can build relationships, and a hard worker, and trustworthy, and just put in an honest day's work. And the owner of that auction took a liking to me, Bill DeLuca. That was at Auto Auction New England in Londonderry, New Hampshire. And I was told early in my career, as I learned these different jobs within the auction industry, from detail and lot and arbitration and service and transportation, that I was on a path to a GM position at 30. And when I'm a 20-something-year-old kid, I'm thinking that's a lifetime away, and there's no way that somebody that's me, like that's who I can be, or an opportunity that was provided. But fortunately, I was surrounded by good people. It's been the story of my whole life, just surrounded by good people. So 30 years old, the opportunity comes, and young whippersnapper, and I have to learn how to check my ego and learn how to be a better leader. And I'm running this organization with great support. And right around that same time, I got involved with the National Auto Auction Association, serving in different roles. I learned by coming into a room and putting my hand up and asking a question, and next thing you know, someone's putting you in a position to serve on a board, right, with no idea, just kind of faking it till you make it. And again, connected with good people, and I served and got involved and asked questions and tried to contribute wherever there was an opportunity. And I met a lot of great people. One family that I met, or one individual I met, was Bob McConkey, who and I'm calling you from their auction in Seattle right now, or on this call in Seattle. And they have a group in the Pacific Northwest. He's had auctions in different places, different independents, mostly on the west side of the country. And I remember I met him because I heard him speak at a conference, and he had shared some information I thought was valuable, and I sent a handwritten card thanking him with pure appreciation, and that started a relationship. And it was at a time in my life, 39 years old or 40 years old, I just had this fire and thinking that there was something else for me. And I received a phone call from them letting me know that they were going to open an auction in Seattle, and they were looking for a GM. And that was in 2013. We started talking about it, and next thing you know, I'm in Seattle in January of 2014. And at the time, I'm in New England, and it's on the other side of the country, and they say Seattle, and I'm like, I think I've been there once before on an NAAA conference, but is that in the US? It's a different culture, and there's so much fear, right? Like, are all these things that I know as far as a leader and being involved in an organization, is it only applicable to what I've grown up with and what I've grown through? Am I going to be able to do it? So we took the chance and came out west, and it was a great decision. And Seattle will celebrate their 11-year anniversary in May. Just this last year, one of the things I did, I was given the opportunity to serve in the Independent Auction Group, which is a subset committee of NAAA that serves the independents. I was asked to serve as a co-chair with Lynn Weaver and Charlotte Pyle, both auction owners. Lynn's now retired, and I thought in my mind, in my 50s, wouldn't it be great if that director position was available, and I could uniquely have, continue to keep a connection with the McConkey Auction Group and add value, and, somehow have this, kind of unique relationship, because I love this industry. And I think if you're introduced to it, I think there's a lot of people that stay in this piece of the industry, because in the automotive industry, you can have the retail side or the wholesale side. I've always felt really fortunate that I'm on the wholesale side of the business. Love people, right? But working dealer, business to business, mainly, just a great piece of the business. So we had some discussion, Bob and I and the McConkey family, and they afforded me the opportunity to serve in an executive VP role and step out of the GM position. And Joe Lamons, who was running the Las Vegas sale that then sold, came up here, and he's been in that seat since August. And we're going through a transition, and they're supporting me with the ability to focus on the director role and deepen relationships and help just make it better than the way that I received it. And it's awesome. It's a great industry. It's a great time. It's I don't know if it's the third quarter or the fourth quarter, but it's just an awesome season.
I feel like we're having a fireside chat. right? And I'm sitting there thinking about the stage at car, and I'm thinking, I'm just gonna have to throw away half of these slides, because hearing you all talk about your journeys that's the most compelling information. Other than that slide, that was pretty interesting too. But this is fascinating, and I can't believe it's already 7:50. So let's do this. Ryan, please say hello. Tell us a little bit more about you, and take it away.
Hello, I'm Ryan Clark. I'm the owner of the Greater Rockford Auto Auction and Great Lakes Auto Auction, Rockford, Illinois, and South Bend, Indiana. My journey is a little bit different than everyone else's. My grandfather founded the Rockford Auto Auction. This is our 50th anniversary this year. He was sort of a serial entrepreneur, like the founding generation of a lot of the independent auctions. That you just had guys who were in multiple different businesses and got in the auction business, and it doesn't really, as Dave said, it gets in your blood. And so I did some investment banking, did some restructuring consulting, and then after my grandfather passed away, I got involved in 2013 to oversee family business in the auction, and it's I didn't spend a ton of time around. Oddly enough, did not spend a ton of time around the auction as a kid, but it is something that gets in your blood. It's exciting. I tell. Like I said earlier, no one in the general public generally knows that this business exists. If they think an auto auction exists, they think it's Mecum or Barrett Jackson. And I'm like, no, this is your everyday. This is what gets people to work. This is the people who need cars to get to work. This is where they get their cars. And I explained to them, what's fun about it is, it's basically capitalism in its purest form. We sell service, we make a market. And it is, you go to the auction, it is the United Nations out there. You meet people from all walks of life. And it's just a fun industry. And it's hard to, and I think as all the panelists have said, we all have pretty long tenures in it, because once it gets in your DNA, it's hard to leave. Because it's super unique. It's exciting. This has changed a little bit more as we're selling stuff throughout the week, but for the most part, you have that one day a week that's game day, and you're leading up to every day of that week. And there's all these little components. A lot of, on the outside, you think that, you get some drivers and some cars, run through the block, but there is a lot, from title work to details. There's a lot that goes on to get into transportation and coordinating all that. And I think that's why Auction Academy is great, because we have our second employee as a student now in Auction Academy, and sometimes you get kind of siloed in your own space and you don't see all these other different components. And so it's great, and it's just now I have the opportunity. Both of our auctions are members of ServNet, which is really a group of 21 independent auctions around the country, all family-owned businesses. And that's and on the independent side, that's the other great thing. These are all family-owned businesses with long tenures. But ServNet, when I categorize ServNet, I somewhat call it a kind of fraternity of auctions. But I think it's a lot of the best-in-class independent family-owned auctions in the country. And I'm starting just last fall, started my 2-year term as president. And it's a great organization. I think certainly the commercial consigners know us, because it was originally conceived to kind of be a marketing organization for independent auctions. But what it is in reality is that, but it's also a great network. It's a great learning opportunity for all of us. I have people all around the country. If we had a question, call them up, and we have a car stuck in Seattle, I could call Dave up and get it, and get some help there. And you're just learning from each other. You have that network, and so it's a really great organization. I think one of the things as we continue to build on it is really get that brand name out there for the dealers, because the dealers don't really aren't really familiar with who ServNet is, because they're used to, they know their local independent that may be a member. But hey, as more and more dealers are buying cars from all over, hey, we could, us in Rockford, Illinois, one of our good customers, they have a car in North Carolina. Well, there's a ServNet auction in North Carolina. I can help them out with that, or whatever. And so as this becomes, it's certainly already become a very national industry. Having that national network that where we can help serve our customers is really a great opportunity. But it really is an awesome industry. And I would say it's very unique. A lot of people probably, everyone thinks their business is unique, but I certainly think this industry, just from all the different touch points and everything, is a unique and fun industry.
I wrote down several things. I've been taking notes like crazy here at Net. Is that one? Yes, when you say what is ServNet? Like outside of the industry, I would love to find a way to help elaborate on that. That's one of the things that I try to do with content. Here we're getting to know individuals, which helps. One of the things I'm wondering is if someone is watching this live or on demand, they're thinking about their own journey, I'm assuming, and then they're wondering, how can I get to know better folks in the industry through learning more about your personal journeys, about seeing the overview process? And then I want to kick it to Jamye and see what she has to say about that.
I think in terms of getting to know the, take it away, please. Getting to know the industry. I think just reach out. If you have a contact point in the industry, reach out, ask for questions. We all know the hiring environment right now. So if someone's showing interest, we'll talk to you. And I think that as some of the stories here, and I know numerous stories that the opportunity to grow within the industry is immense. Our GM in Rockford started out detailing cars in high school. And I know some other GMs that started as block clerks. If you work hard, and there's a lot of opportunity in the industry. So if you have a touch point or contact, I think reach out, and there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, I'm going to kick that over to Penny. Penny, opportunities in the marketplace. What are you seeing? How would you sum that up?
Oh, I don't even know how you can sum that up. There is nothing but space and opportunity. I don't know really how to get people in off the street, because we are such a hidden niche, a gem type of an industry. But if you know somebody like Ryan and Dave are saying, and you kind of come into that, you can start at what some might consider the bottom and work your way up. There is nothing but opportunity. And everyone that I work with auction wise, they want to hire from within. They have groomed you and raised you, and you have come up in the ranks. You have shoveled or wiped off cars in the winter. You have done everything. Now everybody gets a turn at leadership if they want it. We pride ourselves at Auction Academy on hearing everyone's auction story, because it is such a relationship business. Everybody has a story to tell. And whether it's a student or somebody coming in to present a faculty, we always ask, what's your auction story? How did you get involved? So, not to kind of spin it off of the point of, whatever, but I'll hand it back to you. But there is nothing but space and opportunity. Our program, we are at the point of where we actually have to say no. We have to cap the size. We're the biggest that we've ever been at 34 students. We started out where we wanted a group of 15 to 20 because we wanted it to be more intimate. So we have to stop it, because there's nothing but opportunity. Not only the students that are interested in joining the program, but their auction owners or bosses at the companies that want to put them through a program. They want to get them that industry experience and that exposure. They encourage and want their employees to get out of their auction lanes and into others. So it's all around us. It's all around us. I don't know how to summarize it. I don't know if it's possible.
Well, I think you just did, though. Jamye.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, I think the key that we've heard from Penny and from Ryan and Dave and Stephanie is the work hard piece, right? So I remember at one of the conferences, there was a panel, and I can't remember who said it, but she said the biggest problem that they have with hiring people today is they want to come in and get the corner office. They don't want to have to do the work to move up within, their space and within their industry. And, I think that's one of the things that makes our industry unique, in that you do have to put in the work, but when you do, because of those relationships that you make along the way, that's really what elevates your career. And getting involved, not just in Auction Academy, but with IRA and getting plugged into a committee or in AAA or IAG, making sure that you're taking advantage of what our industry offers. And I think a lot of people, they're scared maybe to take that leap and to put themselves out there. But I think that's one of the things that makes all of our journeys similar, is that we're all involved in the industry on committees and, trying to give back as much as we've received from our journeys.
It's well said, Jamie. I know we're after the 8 o'clock time spot. I want to say this, is that I learned a lot about our panel next month, and I got to go back and look at these slides. I think I need a lot less slides, and I need to reorder some things, and then probably have another meeting with Jamie to figure out how the best to do this, because the content that happened here tonight is stellar, and telling your journeys is most, I think, of the way to get. Penny, you said it. What's your auction story? When that's happening in your classrooms, in your curriculum, in your education, what I'm assuming what's going through people's minds is, when they hear someone else's journey, they think of where they are, where they want to be, and maybe how to, get down to work, because there is a lot of work involved, as you just said, Jamie, right? You have a lot of education to go through and networking to get where you want to be.
Jay, I think this needs to be a docu-series. I'd say just a minimum of like 10 episodes. People can binge watch it on the weekend. Get us on Netflix. I mean, we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, I think we could easily do a round robin and, and give some feedback. I think, if anything, just, you never stop learning. You have to, put yourself out there and get out of your comfort zone, and at the end of the day, you have to just give that commitment to yourself, that you're going to stay committed and that you're going to do it, because really the only limits are the ones we set ourselves. So you've got to, just put yourself out there and again, get out of your comfort zone, what you're used to, and never stop learning.
Yeah, the great thing about this business is it's about stretching and learning new things. So to enter into this industry with a sense of curiosity and just a willingness to be okay with not knowing, there's enough people around. If you put up your hand and you ask for help, it's part of the fabric of the culture, because so many people have grown up through that process. There's a very approachable humility to most of the people that are in this industry, and looking for others, right? Because it only makes it easier for us. It's difficult to find an experienced auction person in a local market, because in most cases there's not another auction that's 25 miles away, right? Unless you're in a metropolitan city, and but in a lot of cases it's people don't know what it is. The explanation process starts in an interview, and it's the job of the auctions and the leaders within these organizations to see your talents and kind of how to identify a position that you could feel successful in and achieve.
Yeah. And I'm just going to extend off that a little bit, is because a lot of times, like you're saying, if you just raise your hand and volunteer, get involved, ask that question, there are so many people in this industry that want to help and pull you up. So as much as you want to get there, there has been nothing but people wanting to pull you up. What can I do for you? It's just nonstop.
Yeah, you don't have it's not a cutthroat environment where someone's afraid
I
of
was going to
somebody
say
else.
the same thing.
Yeah,
like,
it's really
what
not.
other
I just
industry
realized it.
is there where we all like compete with each other? We're fighting for, we want to be the preferred service. We want to be the preferred provider. We want to be the preferred auction. We're all, fighting for that preferred spot, but we're all helping each other at the same time. I mean, it is the craziest thing I've ever experienced, where everybody really, you're competing, but you're supporting each other. That's what makes us so unique. And that's why we all love it. Like, I have chill bumps right now because that's why we love it, right? We love each other. We love the competition. We love all of it.
I remember Bob McConkey in his speech when he was president years ago using the coined the term
that Boston surfaced.
coopetition, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a unity and a support, but these competing, they're going to compete with a smile on.
Yeah.
Well, day one, class one for Auction Academy, we get into that. Be comfortable with your competitor, because you are sitting next to somebody, and we'll sit next to them for 2 years, who you may, outside this room, consider a competitor. And we go straight over to Mannheim, Nashville, that very first session, and Sam Chapel, now no longer there, retired, but his presentation was get comfortable with your competition, because they're sitting next to you, and they will for 2 years, and you're on this journey together to be better, not only for yourselves, but your auction or your companies and this industry. It's fantastic. So we started.
Then you're going to sit next to each other on a committee, right? Like, you may coach you a committee where all three of you are competitors, but you're all supporting the industry together.
Yep.
Wow. Get comfortable with your competitor. That's strong stuff. But it's real. It is. Wow. That's awesome. There's some awesome stuff in here. And yeah, I just got off the phone with Netflix, and they just picked this up. Okay.
Yay.
Right. Well, maybe, hopefully. But
the real housewives of the auction industry.
No, rising stars in remarketing. Downloadable podcast. And I can imagine, there's a lot. So this is really an amazing way to begin what I hope is something that we continue as a journey of. Penny, you've got What's Your Auction Story? That is amazing. Anybody recording that? Something to think about, right? Think of all those amazing stories. And then you're going to say, yeah, we already have it on DVD. We're already on Netflix, Jay. Know your competition. All right. I think that's the perfect way to end this. Penny, I want to thank you. Stephanie, thank you. Dave, thank you. Ryan, thank you. And Jamie, thank you so much for helping put this amazing group together. These are your friends, and I just happen to be here with a camera. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a good night, and we'll see you in a month in Phoenix at Car Conference. And we'll be in touch.
So much.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you.
Have a good night. And this is always the hard part. I'm going to end the meeting here, and they're already shining out. So thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Okay. All right. There it is. Wow. That after I do panel discussions, where my camera one, and especially ones like that where it really felt like a fireside chat, and I was really paying attention, taking notes, getting to know. You're getting to know people and part of that overview process. I want to actually bring that slide up again. Do I have that slide? I'm just gonna take a look at there's the ELD punch. The overview of the The auto remarketing overview process. OEM, dealer, lender, rental, fleet, salvage, rebuilders, buyer pay here, independent dealer, franchise dealer, customer, repo, and then all of the professionals within that, the auctions. And that was really interesting what Dave said about it was really the three-legged stool, the two chains, and then all the other independents. And there's just so much to think about and wrap your head around, and that's why I wanted to do a panel discussion about auto remarketing. And Rising Stars points to that. It's the people, right? The people that work within the process that you get to know, network with, work with, hire, work for, to have the teams, educate. That's right. That's the important part. That's where we're at as an ecosystem, learning together. But then all the process, and this is just one segment of automotive. So I guess that's why the automotive industry is so darn big. We saw last month at NADA how big the dealer section is, just dealers, vendors, well, and OEMs. And now as we move into March, into auto remarketing with Car Conference, and there's so many panel discussions happening that this is one giant industry. And this is where I will circle back and finish with this, is that I implore anybody in the logistics portion of automotive to pay more attention who the people are, what they're doing, and when you tune into ATI, you get a glimpse into, when you pull into that auction parking lot, there are people in that building that actually might be approachable, actually might be able to help you solve a problem that you're having, because we know logistics is full of problems, and we're trying to create that ecosystem, at least expand on it, where it's not like there's no one that can help, because that's how it feels sometimes when you're out in the elements. And that's why I started ATI, because I thought, you know what, there has to be people, there has to be somebody to talk to about this problem that we're having with this gate pass or this car, or, you know, there has to be people out there that want to help. And as we find out week after week, yeah, there are people out there that want to help. So thank you so much for tuning into ATI Auto Business. We're here to help. We want to help you promote your company services and messages. If you got something to say, send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Car Conference, and Jamie Carpenter, Penny Wana, Stephanie Compton, Dave Blake, and Ryan Clark. This was an awesome show. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in the live chat. It's very hard for me to type and talk, let alone talk. So I missed Roberto. I saw you. Say hello. What's going on? Wendy Harrington. Oh, Kelly Bianchi's here too. Thank you so much, everybody. Really, it means a lot. Every view, like, share, and comment. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate you. I'll see you again soon. And next week, if you hadn't have enough, I can't even finish that sentence properly. We're going to have Car Conference Energy next Tuesday night. So here comes more Car Conference. Welcome to March. Auto remarketing. Buckle your seatbelts. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Good night.